used to be the library bookshelves in that classroom. I mean, they're moving at least one of them away, so there's a little.
How about if they replace some of the old wooden ones so that
Mhm.
if they, one of them went, or two of them would replace the
Yeah.
little bookcases, because they're good.
Yeah, they're very sturdy.
They're very sturdy, and then put the little ones in the way. And then you can put things above the kids,
Yeah.
and teachers want.
That would be great.
Space.
Yeah, yeah.
Just say the word when you're ready to.
Good morning. Hey, good morning.
You're live with it.
Okay, thank you. All right, let me see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Abraham is 9.
Oh,
Don't forget. We
uh,
end up with 9, Abraham could be 10.
yeah, well, normally it's like a child plus the tour is an extra person.
Oh, I thought it was Abraham.
No, it's a potential.
Didn't I read that somewhere? I swear I read it somewhere. I got all of
I'm
them.
not sure it's fine with us another minute, but, yeah, technically, the halakha is if you have not a below bar mitzvah age boy. Plus the tour, you're one. So that's plenty, we get enough children, plus the tour.
Yeah. Rabbi Jessica, could you do announcements? And if so, would it be appropriate for me to share about the group?
Yes, yeah. Especially when we're a very intimate family here.
Yeah.
People are welcome to just jump up and say whatever you feel like saying. Arlene, did you come with someone?
No,
Oh, okay,
I go,
okay.
it's fine.
No, I thought I saw you walking with someone else. I'm just trying to determine if I have an opinion or not. Well,
So just what happens if you don't?
then I won't do there's certain prayers that you don't do.
Uh,
And I would, oh, thank you. Skip tour reading as well.
When you come in, are you the one that's putting setting the temperature manually?
Only if it's set to like 60 degrees.
Because that shouldn't be, somebody's putting it on hold, and it shouldn't be necessary, so.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes I come in when it's like, there's not a scheduled anything, and then I put this on. But normally it's warm enough for whenever.
Well, yeah, the heat came on, probably around.
Oh, Jim just turned it down a little bit, maybe. So, I generally try and stay away from, I'm like, I know when I'm not scheduled to be here, I can do it. Anytime that there's a schedule, I just walk away.
Okay.
All right, so we're doing a little bit of a meditative service this morning, a singing service this morning. So we'll use the prayer books, but we're going to supplement with our shoes. Oh, okay. Hello. All right, song sheets plus the Torah, not the Torah, plus the prayer book. Right, you're up with the rest of these over here in case anybody new comes in.
What is your name? Yeah, I know, I don't use it. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'm very proud of you all for braving the snow and the weather and coming this morning. We're going to do a bit of a blend of a Shabbat morning service plus some extra singing. So we will have the ability to really warm up, to kind of get ourselves in a particular place this morning. The beautiful thing about Shabbat is that it gives you about an hour or so to see how present you can be in this very moment. So feel free to take this whole service as just a process of letting go of everything that is weighing on you from outside, everything that is pulling at your time and your attention, do what you can to breathe, to focus on what you need in this moment, and to just be here together. We are joining the rest of the Jewish world globally this morning in our prayers. And so to have this large connection between our people and ourselves under the commandment of taking time to rest, of really taking that seriously. So we're going to begin on page 186. I'm going to start with Moda Ani. Moda Ani is actually something we're supposed to say upon waking as a prayer of gratitude so that we can start our day with a positive intention each day. So 186, Moda Ani. Moda Ani lefanecha melechai v'kayam shehechazarta binishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha modani lefanecha melechai v'kayam shehechazarta binishmati Bechemla Rabba emunatecha. We're going to turn to page 191, and I'm going to just give you an invitation. Nobody has to take me up on it, but traditionally, we actually wear our talits in the morning, and we don't wear them at night because the instruction is to look at the tzitzit and be reminded of the mitzvot. And the rabbi said, well, if part of the commandment is to look, you can't see that much at night before, electricity. So we were told that you wear a talit in the morning and the afternoon, and you don't wear one at night unless you're the prayer leader. So we're not always here in the morning. Feel free to take advantage of talit time. We'll read the blessing on page 190 together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit atef b'tzitzit. I just want to read the poem or the reading on 191. Let's read that together. Whoever wrapped in a talit in one's youth will never forget, taking it out of the soft sack, opening the folded talit, spreading it, kissing the border along its length, sometimes embroidered and sometimes embossed. Afterward, a great sweep over the head like the heavens, like a chuppah, like a parachute. Afterwards, folding it around one's head as if playing hide and seek, and then wrapping the body in it, tight, tight, letting it fold you like a cocoon, and then opening it like wings for flying. And why are there stripes and not black, white squares like a chessboard? Because squares are finite, without hope, and stripes come from infinity and go on to infinity, like the runways at the airport, so that angels may land and take off. When you wrap yourself in a talit, you cannot forget coming out of a swimming pool or the sea and being wrapped in a great towel and casting it over one's head and wrapping in it tight, tight, and shivering a little and laughing and blessing. Talitot are right here. You're welcome to take one if you would like. I love teaching about early reform movements. It is one of my favorite time periods in the modern Jewish era, looking at kind of the 1800s, understanding what was happening in European Jewry and understanding where the movement came from. But I'm very aware that if I had been born closer to the original American classical reform movement, I never would have been a part of it. I could never have been a part of it. Classical reform in America had a very extreme aversion to Jewish traditional rituals. With the idea of being modern, of being like everybody else, there was a serious kind of division between particular traditionalism and what the modern future of Judaism might look like. And part of that was asking to take off your talit and your kippah when you walked into the synagogue. That there would be classical Reform synagogues that said, we actually do not wear that, and we ask you not to. Yeah. And it's such a blessing to me that I am born now, where the Reform movement has been able to really come back closer to the center of traditional Judaism, to understand that that the traditions that might have been used in a particular way, either within our own structures, right, to say that only certain people are allowed to wear certain things and certain people are not, I would be included in the not, that's not necessary. We don't actually have to divide away from our traditions. We have so much ability to reclaim them and to re-understand them and to go back to the roots of our traditions and understand where they came from before society managed to manipulate things the way that we always do. So it is a deep love of mine to be wrapped in a talit, to feel like the wings of the Shekhinah, the wings of the divine feminine are wrapping around us and comforting us in these moments. Talit is like a physical reminder that God is always with us, and that if we are open to feeling that connection, it's there. And so when you wrap a talit around you and you feel that connection, you feel the cloth on you, it can be a very powerful reminder that we are inheriting 4,000 years of our tradition and history, and there is real, deep truth and wisdom in those practices, and that we are able to re-understand things in each generation rather than throw them away. So. All right, let's turn now to page 195, and we'll read at the top together. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware, we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. Page 196. We come to Elohai Neshama. The English is, my God, the soul you have given me is pure. So I want to sing this first line of Elohai Neshama as a meditation. So we'll sing it through maybe 3 times. If you don't know the chants, the first time around you can listen, the second time you can try, and the third time you can feel a little bit better about it. So it's Elohai Neshama Shenatata Bi Tehora Hi. 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 Elohai Neshama Shenatata Bi Tehorahim. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Tehorahi. Last time. Elohai neshama shenata tabi. Tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenata bi tehorahi. Elohai neshama shenata tabi tehorahi. Let's turn to page 205. We'll read at the top together. We seekers of God, how do we find you? In good deeds and in the study of Torah. In your search for us, you find us in the bending of the knee, in the rigor of study, in the honesty of commerce, through a good heart, through decency, in respect, true fellowship, companionship, and love, through truth and peace, in the no that is really no, and the yes that is really yes. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamed Torah la'amo Yisrael. Okay, so we are just shy, even if I count the children, of a minyan. So we are going to omit the few communal prayers, and I'll tell you a little bit about why. The prayers that we won't do unless you have a minyan is the Baruch Hu. Now, the Baruch Hu, which is really a call and response prayer. It's when there's a whole group of people here, it's the leader saying, are you guys actually here? Are you ready? Like, have you done enough warm up? And the congregation responds yes most of the time. So that question isn't necessary because we have a nice intimate group, and I can see that all of you are wherever you are. We won't do the Aleinu. Aleinu at the end of our service is a prayer that is specifically written in the communal group. So most of our prayers, you'll notice, are really individual, right? We are saying them all together. But the language is between a person and the divine. We talk to God, God talks to us. It is a you pronoun. But in the Aleinu, it is a we or an us pronoun. Aleinu, the nu is communal, is us. So we don't say that unless we have it again.
I was just completely taken aback by the prayer that comes up just after the one we just did, and its relevance to right now.
Oh, which page are you looking at?
Page 205, right in the middle of the page.
Oh, yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, this is a real, the prayer book is an amalgamation of different pieces of Jewish life throughout our history. And it's so interesting to notice where the prayers are asking for help and compassion, and where the prayers are that are calling us out, and how the people who are thinking about these prayers and writing things or bringing things for the left side of the page, how they are interpreting the prayers themselves based on where we are. When we're in times of privilege, we look at ourselves and say, you are allowing yourself to be blinded because you're comfortable, because things are okay for you. Whereas we know that that's a short-term reality, especially if you're on a time frame of thousands of years, things will change. And you need to be aware of when they will change, because you need to act when they change. And that is exactly where we are right now.
I mean, this could have been written yesterday.
Yes, it could have.
Can I read it?
Yeah, please.
From the cowardice that shrinks from new truth, from the laziness that is content with half-truths, from the arrogance that thinks it knows all truth. O God of truth, deliver us. Blessed is Adonai, teacher of Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamed Torah l'amo Yisrael.
This prayer, by the way, specifically is about teaching and learning Torah. Hamlamed Torah, to learn Torah. And the goal of Torah is to challenge us. It is to remind us of when we have fallen down. Happens plenty of times in our Torah. Reminds us of how we have gotten back up, which also happens plenty of times in our Torah. And it will happen again. The question is, how long? All right, so I've given you a bit of a rundown of why we're going to be skipping a little bit. So we're going to go to page 228. And let's read on page 228 in the English together. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy, you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness, you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai. In wisdom, you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may all swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer Hamerot. So I love this prayer because it talks about creation as God's main job. Like God put creation as at least started the process, and now the process happens daily. But also because this prayer really allows you to remember that lights mean multiple things. That light can be the physical light, it can be the light of the stars and the moon and the sun, but obviously it can be the light that we need within ourselves, that we need to shine for each other. And to remember that all the light that we bring is a gift. It's a gift from the divine who gave us life, who gave us our world, who gave us each other, and that it's our job to see that light. It is our job to open our eyes and notice that each and every human being is made in the image, in B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of the divine, and that our souls are pure, that we all begin in a place of divine beauty and truth, and that we can all get back to that place if we work at it, if we work hard enough at it. Even those that we might think are beyond repair. God never is beyond repair, no matter what happens here on earth. Your relationship with God is always there. But when we do things in our world that harm others, our relationship with people can be damaged, and there might not be a repair there. And to be careful of how we shepherd our lights, to be careful of how we influence others, and to be careful of how we treat others, even if they treat you badly. Because there is a gift of living out our ideals. There's use in having ideals for not only us, but for our country that are probably never going to be met. But shining a light on those ideals and saying, this is who we want to be, this is who we strive to be, even when we fall flat time and time again, there is something beautiful in that. So notice the light in our world, accept it and embrace it, even if we don't think we'll make it to our final, most perfect destination. To strive towards light is always our job. It's always our job. So let's Let's sing on our song sheet the first song, Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The world is continually being built. Each day, creation is renewed. Each day, we have the option and the opportunity to see the light and love that surrounds us. But we need to be the ones to take the first steps and to notice. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la da 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 da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, ya la la da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, ya da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, ya da. Now the English. I will build this world from love. Ya da. And you must build this world from love. Ya da. And if we build this world from love, ya da. Then God will build this world from love. Ya da. We turn to page 232. We close our eyes and we hold tight to the love that we feel deep in our hearts and souls as we sing Shema together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Page 234. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'vlechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotefot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Let's turn to page, on 235. Let's read the second reading in English together. If we can hear the words from Sinai, then love will flow from us, and we shall serve all that is holy with all our intellect and all our passion and all our life. If we can serve all that is holy, we shall be doing all that humans can to help the rains to flow, the grasses to be green, the grains to be golden like the sun, and the rivers to be filled with life once more. All the children of God shall eat, and there will be enough. But if we turn from Sinai's words and serve only what is common and profane, making gods of our own comfort or power, then the holiness of life will contract for us. Our world will grow inhospitable. Therefore, lace these words into our passion and our intellect and bind them as a sign upon our hands. Let us write them in mezuzot upon our doors and teach them to our children. Let us honor the generations that came before us, keeping the promise for those yet to be. There's a large debate about what happened at Sinai. It's not a modern one, it is a very ancient one. Did God give Moses every written word of the Tanakh at that point? Or was there an experience that each individual felt differently? Many of our commentators say that at Sinai, every person and every soul heard the message that they needed to hear. And that each soul of the Jewish people were at that moment, even those of us who are here today, our souls were present. And we heard what we needed to hear. The challenge for us is to remember, what did God tell us before we even came into this life? What is our mission here in this world? What are we called to do? This is our life's work. What did we hear at Sinai? Let's turn to page 242. And I'll invite you to rise as you're able. We enter into the Amidah. We'll sing the first 4 prayers together because that'll include Vishamru. And I know that my tune for Nikadesh is a little different from the one Beth uses, so I apologize in advance if I mess you up a little bit. Okay. Page 242. Adonai tzifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 244. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanova, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imachot, U'Mebi Geula Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. 246. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atarav L'Choshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Marid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atalech Achayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. 248. Nekadesh et Shimcha Ba'olam, Keshem Shemakdishim Oto Bishmei Marom, Kakatuv Al Yad Neviecha, V'Karaza El Zeh Ve'amah, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melohol Haaretz, Kevodo. Adir Adirenu Adonai Adonenu Ma'adir Shimcha B'chol Haaretz Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Moshienu V'Hu Yashmienu V'Rachamav Le'nei Kol Chai Ani Adonai Eloheihem Yimloch Adonai Leolam Elohai Yitzyon Ledor Vador Hallelujah Ledor Vador Nagid God Lecha Ulenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nakdish B'Shivchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Lo Yamush Leolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. 250. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I invite you to continue on silently. We will come back together on page 260. When you are done with your prayers, you may be seated. I'm going to read something from 259. We oughtn't pray for what we've never known, and humanity has never known. Unbroken peace, unmixed blessing. No, better to pray for pity, for indignation, discontent, the will to see and touch, the power to do good and to make new. Baruch atah Adonai, havarech et amo Yisrael v'shalom. Page 260. Yehiyu leratzon imre fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Turi Adonai Turi Begoali All right, so one other thing that you don't exactly do without a minyan is a full Torah service. So we are going to do a learning session where we're taking out the Torah for our own edification, and therefore we won't say the official blessing for it or have all the pomp and circumstance, but we still get to hear the Torah, and it's what I'm talking about, so I figured we might as well do it. All right, so why don't we sing number 3, the sanctuary song, while I take out the Torah. Evan, do you know this song? You know this song, right? Yeah, you all know this song. So if I turn around, it's okay. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh Lord, prepare me to be a saint. Please rise. Mary should rise. Pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Oh Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Let's try with the Hebrew. Vasuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham v'anachnu nevarech Yah me'ata v'yad olam. So we normally sing that song with Micha Mocha. I think the choir normally does the Micha Mocha, but this is the original verse that inspired the English version. So I like to put it in there.
Should we be doing the Sophie Devarim Torah?
Yes, yeah. We'll do that when I start reading. All right, so you may be seated. Let me just make sure it hasn't gone anywhere. Okay, so the blessing that we're going to do is to learn Torah. So it's the normal blessing language with la'asok b'divrei Torah, to immerse yourself, or we always to soak yourself in learning the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav b'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. So we are in Parsha Yitro, and there's quite a few things that happen in this Parsha. But what I wanted to focus on is an interaction between Yitro, which is Moses' father-in-law, his wife's father, a Midianite priest who is not Jewish, but does guide the Israelites throughout the desert, and Moses around the issue of judging. Not judging each other like informal, like, a court judge, like a real judge. Vayar choten Moshe et kol asher ku oseh la'am. And so he's being called choten Moshe right now. We're in Yitro, the second Aliyah. So Yitro is Moses' father-in-law. He's looking at what is happening. He's looking at all of the things that Moses is doing for this people. La'am. Vayomer ma hadavar hazeh asher ata oseh la'am. And Jethro says, "What are you doing? What are you doing right now? Medua ata yoshev levadecha v'kol ha'am nitzav elecha min boker ad erev." And he says, "Why are you sitting alone? You're the only one, and you're encircled by the whole community standing in front of you from the morning till the night with complaints and issues and like everything that's going wrong." Vayomer Moshe lechotno, and he says to Jethro, his father-in-law, "Ki yavo elai ha'am lidrash Elohim." He's like, I help the people to follow God. Ki yehiyeh lehem davar ba elai v'shafat tati ben ish uvein re'ehu. He's like, people come and they bring the issue that's between them for me to hear, between the person and their neighbor. I think it's really interesting, by the way, that the language we use is between a person and their neighbor, not a person and their friend, right? Person and their enemy. These are normal, this is how society works. Stuff happens. People get upset with somebody's stuff gets out of their pen. I think a lot about oxes. I don't know why. I always think the ox gets out of the pen and tramples over some things. And these are the things that come. Normal, boring, right? Everyday societal realities. And Jethro was like, why you? Why are you the only one doing this? So Moses is saying, well, they all come. They bring me an issue. Hodati et chukei ha'elohim ve'et torto. And they tell me what's going on, and I tell them what the laws and the precepts are according to God. What does the Torah say in this situation? Vayomer choten Moshe, and Jethro says aloud to him, Lo tov hadavar asher ata oseh. This is not good. You say this very casually, Moses, but this is a bad situation. Navol tibol gam ata gam ha'am hazeh. This is not going to go well. You're going to be overwhelmed, both you and the people. Asher imcha, that you're with. Ki kaved mimcha hadavar lo tuchal asohu levadecha. It's not good. It's too heavy for you to carry alone. You cannot be the only one involved in an entire nation's basic issues. You can't do this alone. You're going to overwhelm yourself, but you're also setting the people up to be overwhelmed as well. Because what are they going to do? They're sitting in line all day for one guy. How long is this going to take? This is a bad process. And we go on from there to talk about, Jethro says, okay, appoint the smartest people from each of the tribes. There's 12 tribes, plenty of people who are in leadership roles. You need to create a justice system, a system that does not depend on just you and your interpretation of God's words. You need to find a way to let other people into this role and into the understanding of Torah as well. Right? Moses is sitting here saying, I am the only one who can tell the people what God wants of them. And Jethro said, Moses is our guy. We love Moses. Okay. He's a good guy. We know he has the best of intentions. But if you're going to have anyone become kind of a king, Moses isn't a bad choice, right? He's a good heart, pretty humble. He never wanted to be in leadership, which I always think is probably the best people. And here he is. He's doing the job. He's taking up what he needs, and he's doing what he thinks he needs to do. And yet, Jethro, right, someone who has a bit more objectivity, someone who is outside of the Israelite community, who knows how his society works, knows how other societies work, he's looking at this and he's saying to Moses, you've made a mistake. You've really misjudged something here. You cannot be the only person who knows the truth. Your society will fail. Your society will fail. And this comes back up later in Torah with the rebellion by Korah. So later in the book of Numbers, there's a pretty massive rebellion led by this guy Korah against Moses and Aaron. And Korah's big complaint is, God said that we are all a holy nation, but you two are the only ones who are having this relationship with God. You're the ones who own the narrative, right? You're the ones who own what we're supposed to do and what God tells us. That's not fair. We should be in that world as well. We should have communication with the divine. We should have accessibility to this as well. Now, that rebellion was squashed by God. Not great. And we understand that the reason that God squashed that rebellion and saw them as not a good uprising is because the intention within Korah's heart was not that to help the whole community, because he genuinely was feeling this way. It was a power play, right? He wants to be the one in charge. He wants to be the only one who knows what God's message is. And God is not interested in that situation. And a bunch of people get swallowed up by the earth, which happens every once in a while in Torah, swallowed up by the earth. But the truth is that we are seeing just how important it is to create strong structures that diversify leadership and power. If even Moses cannot be a dictator, nobody can. Nobody can. The best of us cannot fill that role because that role shouldn't exist. And even back in these days where we will have a king, right? The Israelites end up, moving into Canaan. They set up shop and they do have a king, but that structure is very specifically diversified. Every king has a prophet. Whether they listen to that prophet or try and arrest him and kill him is a different question. But every generation of Israelite kings had a prophet that did not, was not under the king. The prophets act independently because they are the ones in communication with God. They have a direct line to what God is asking, and their responsibility is to literally speak truth to power, right? To literally speak what the right thing to do is, and to admonish the kings when they make a wrong choice. We see this go fairly well with David, right? King David, beloved, huge hero, right? The Messiah will come from the line of King David. Like, that's how serious we love King David. And yet made a pretty dramatic mistake, intentional mistake. David was in his castle or whatever, tent castle, and he looks at the roof. If you've ever heard Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, this is the line, this is the stanza. He looks over and he sees this beautiful woman bathing on the roof, because that's where the water is collected. That's where you take a bath, because water comes out. And he falls in love with her. He has to have her, so it has her come to the palace, and he sleeps with her. She is married, right? Not okay to do. This was already adultery, which is against our whole 10 Commandment thing. And not only does he sleep with her, which is bad enough, she becomes pregnant from this. Her husband is away at war, so it's very clear that this is an illegitimate child. And King David starts to freak out. He tells her husband Uriel, "Why don't you come out? You've done a good job. Why don't you just come home and have some time with your wife?" And and nobody is keeping too close track of babies these days. We're like timing of them. But Uriel is a good man, and he says, no, my soldiers aren't going home. I'm staying with my soldiers. I'm not going to take any extra stuff because I'm a captain. My people are with me. I'm staying here. So when David realizes he can't fake the pregnancy being correct, legitimate, he sends Uriel to the front lines, where he knows he'll be killed, and he is killed. So now he has solved his problem by basically committing murder and adultery lying and trying to get out of it and cover it all up. And God talks to the prophet. His prophet is Nathan. And Nathan gives David this parable, right? This parable of the lonely lamb. And he says, there's two neighbors. There's one guy who has so much money and he has everything. And he has like 20 goats and 50 oxen and servants and everything. And like lots of lambs and whatever. And then there's neighbors. There's one guy, he has one little lamb that he loves so much. That lamb is his whole world. He just, this is the only thing he really has. And then one day the rich guy takes the lamb away from him and tells him that, too bad, you're out of luck. And David is furious. Who is this person who would take the only thing from this poor person? How dare they? What a terrible, terrible thing. He must be punished. And what does Nathan say? It's you. It's you. You're the literal king. You have all the things, and you took the wife of this one guy. He has nothing, and you killed him and took his wife. It's you, man. It's you, David. And David responds correctly. He realizes what he has done. He mourns, and he's punished, right? His child dies. He's not allowed to build the temple, which was kind of in the long-term plan. David is not allowed to build the first temple in Jerusalem. Solomon, his son, has to do that. He's allowed to do that. So David listens to the prophet when he makes a mistake and repents. A few generations later, we see a very different reality for kings and prophets, because the kingship has become so entrenched in power that the king refuses to listen to the prophet. And he does what he's not supposed to do. Prophets come, Elijah, Ezekiel, name your prophet. And they're all going to get chased away. They're going to be, king says, kill the prophet. It's a whole drama thing. So we know that even the best of people, if even King David can make such a huge mistake and needs to have a counterbalance power, how much more so normal human beings, right? Normal human beings are going to make even more mistakes, and we're not going to be able to look honestly at ourselves and take responsibility for those mistakes. Power corrupts. There's really no way to get around that. Some people are exempt, maybe, and then you learn more stuff about them and you're like, I guess actually not as great as I thought. But that is why the founders of this country were like, you need checks and balances. It's a good plan. It's a good system. It just has to hold up. And I see during this time of rebellion and anger and protest, which are incredibly necessary for where we are, I see this other aspect coming through. This aspect of anti-Westernism, anti-Americanism, saying that because we have never lived up to the ideals of what we believe America should be, we have failed to the point where America shouldn't be in existence anymore. And I can't tell you how strongly I disagree with this. Where else has a perfect system? Where in our world, in our history of our world, where human beings have to be in charge of ourselves, has any country lived up to the ideals that it would want for itself? Has any system lived up to the ideals that it might have stated in the beginning? I don't think ever. Kibbutzim kind of work because they're small enough, right? I think that is, kibbutzim in Israel are the closest you're going to get to a functioning communist system because it's scaled correctly. The moment you scale up a kibbutz, human behavior will get in the way. And human behavior is the only constant truth that we have in our world. We will fail every time. And that is okay. Because if we set things up knowing that humans will fail, we can create boundaries so that the failure isn't so bad. Or it only there's a counterbalance. But as we live through a world where we see that those checks and balances themselves are failing, we can see just how traumatic one person with all the power can be. This is not a new reality. We see this over and over again. And it is shocking to see it in our own country. It is shocking to see it in America so quickly. And we must speak up and stand up and fight for the America that we believe in. That is an important and just and Jewish thing to do. And we must be careful that the exuberance and ecstaticism of revolution does not blind us to dangers, right? Within revolution, within pushback, that movement can be taken advantage of. I'm looking at Iran each and every day with less hope, not without any, that there will be a real change in the regime there. And I think back to how we got here in the first place, and it was through revolution that was taken advantage of. There was a revolution in Iran to move the country forward, to move the people forward. And in the midst of that rebellion and that protest and that anger and that energy, the door was left open for fundamentalist Islamic regime to come and to capture the country. 4 years after the original rebellion, the original revolution is the first hijab law, that all women must wear hijab. And there was a protest. There was a protest by the women who fought for their independence, who fought alongside men in the revolution to say, this isn't what we fought for. But it was too late because the power had become entrenched, because people weren't paying enough attention to the murmurings underneath revolution. Who was going to take advantage of this time of difficulty? Somebody will always take advantage. It's our job to be on the lookout and to protect those ideals that we are fighting for, and to say that I'm not giving up on those ideals, and whoever takes on leadership has to believe in those ideals as well. And if you're coming from a place of destruction where all you see is systems that you want to tear down, rather than systems that you want to promote and try to build up, the future is not going to be kind. But if we look at things and see what we want to create, we want to build, how we can work together within boundaries, then there's real possibility for our future. So ancient wisdom, ancient reality reminds us that not much has changed. Humans are human. And as long as we know that with eyes wide open, we can change our world. Just keep your eyes open and listen to Jethro. Listen to your father-in-law or father. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Gabby, do you want to help me just address the Torah? And as we put it back, let's do Osei Shalom, number 4, if you need the words. I invite you to rise as you're able as we return the Torah, address the Torah. Evan, do you choose the Osei Shalom tune? Say Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. It's the hardest thing to do. Amen. Say Shalom b'mramah. Say Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Thank you. Am I just getting the jewelry?
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ya'akol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom,
Shalom Aleinu, Ya'akol Yisrael. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So since we, okay, let's turn to page 598, 599. Kaddish is another prayer that is meant to say communally with a minyan. we are going to say the names of those that we have lost and those that we are in mourning for. And we'll read on page 599. We'll end with Zichronam Livracha. Yeah.
Quick question. It's my mom's yard site. Am I permitted to say it?
So this is what I always say to everybody. As a leader of a communal, I am not going to lead a Kaddish without a minyan. Individuals should absolutely say Kaddish as they need. So yes. We are thinking of all of those who have died recently or at this time in years past. In our community, we are thinking of Bessie Salmonson, Mae Brooks, Jacob Kaplan, Joyce Molly Kaplan, Fanny Travis, Alan Fox, Aaron Schindler, Leonard Eskin, Israel Diliak, Flora Silverman, Betty Kaplan Malos, George Lamb, Abraham Joseph Aronson, Leah Rabinovitz, Harold Finn, Nathan Greenberg, Irving Weinswig, Samuel Lofshe. If you're in a period of mourning or observing a yard site, please say those names out loud or in your hearts. I will invite us all to take a moment of silence. Evans is welcome to. May peace be sent to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. I only printed out, okay. Okay, so tomorrow is the 8th. Is that a correct thing? Tomorrow's the 8th?
Yes.
There's a Torah study. Sisterhood hula hooping is tomorrow too.
Yep.
And tomorrow's our intro to Hebrew, not final class. We've shifted things a little bit. The 10th is the sisterhood knitting. The 12th, come here. I will have wine, beer, and scotch, as we'll do a Purim story roundup. So we'll talk a little bit about Purim. We'll talk about the war in the end, and we'll have some wine involved. Then Shabbat services on the 13th. I will just say the break is happening. Put it down on your calendars, the 26th of February. I'm really excited. My teacher, Rabbi Sharon Cohen Anisfeld, is coming to do a program with us looking at Israel through poetry. So this is really her specialty. She's an incredible teacher, an amazing writer, and a lover of poetry. So it's going to be a really nice, I think, important kind of place to feel, just to let yourself feel all the complications that we're all feeling, and to work through it with us. So write that down, and I think that's it. Any other announcements? Yes.
I'll share that at the home of Eliza Malou in here in Melrose, we're having I'll be teaching an introduction to mindfulness course. I'm in a teacher training program currently, and so I'm offering this as part of my training and my practicum. And all are welcome. I think we have room for about 7, and it's going to be 4 sessions starting on Wednesday, March 11th, in the evening from 7:15 to 8:30. So I'll teach about what is mindfulness, how is it relevant to our lives, how do we practice it. We'll practice meditation in different forms. And then hopefully following the course, we'll start something here at TBS to have a regular meditation sit. And so if you're interested, you can just come chat with me and
and I can share more.
Thank you.
I just want to say how lovely it is to see outside and to see the snow come down. It's been so long.
Thank you very much, Evans. And not everybody has seen the screen. I have used this screen a lot because I really enjoy it. But it's really such a gift. And we will have some movie screenings soon.
Yes, actually, I should mention that. There's been talk, I've talked to the president about doing an inaugural TBS theater night for families. And it's going to be in March, but I don't know that we've settled on the date yet. It's maybe early March.
Great.
So keep an eye on your calendars and your bulletins.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll talk to the Jewish and Israeli film festivals.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
they don't have much up here. There's a lot of Jews up here now. Who would have guessed? So it's good. Let's sing for our closing song. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oldie but a good traditional song. Ein Eloheinu is on a page of 631. Wow. Let me just got right up there. Ein Eloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, No de Malkeinu, No Nenu, Mi Chemalkeinu, Mi Kamoshienu, No de Leloheinu, No de Ladonenu, No de la Malkeinu, No de la Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. Beautiful. So interesting that it's the Spanish.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the word I was looking for.
I wonder what it would sound like if we did this.
Yeah, there's so many syllables.
Well, and it's probably not even, it's probably Ladino.
It is Ladino.
Yeah, so I don't even, my bad Spanish isn't even good enough for this,
We'll
so.
have to ask our resident musician to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, it's in Ladino
It's Ladino. It's a combination of Spanish
and Hebrew. Yeah. Ladino is the Spanish pidgin language. Well, my brother-in-law is from Venezuela, and when he came up for Passover once before we all had children, and we made him do ocho candelicas, and
Oh, yeah?
yeah, he and his brother, they're it was always like you race to say it as fast as you can, and
Do you have a final blessing for your congregation? Not to put you on the spot.
my blessing for all of us, each and every day, is that we are kind and patient with ourselves, that we see clearly what our tradition has told us always, which is we were strangers in a strange land, and therefore we treat others with that awareness. We treat our countrymen and all the people who live here the same as we treat our citizens. And to walk away when you need to. Give yourself time to take care of yourselves. Don't pick up arguments that are going to fail. It's just not worth it. And just stay strong. It's going to be a long road ahead of us for quite a while. And you have to make sure you pace yourselves. And to just come back whenever you need time, whenever you need a reminder of why you're doing the work that you're doing. You show up to services, you read these prayers, and then you are reminded that this is our inheritance. So good luck to you all. Shabbat shalom. Thank you to the ONE committee, which is everybody except for Aaron and Arlene.